So, hello and welcome back to the Pottery Corner. Slightly different start this morning. We are just off for a trip in our caravan, but the kiln needs unloading and you just can't leave it. You just can't leave it for a few days. So we're going to go into the studio. We've been packing the caravan, so we're going to go into the studio before we go away just to unload. There's 5 pieces in the kiln. There is Sissy sunning herself. Say hello, Sissy. Say hello, darling. Say hello to the viewers. So you coming in the caravan? You're coming in the caravan, aren't you? Yes, you are, because you're a good girl. Right, so let's get inside, get set up, and we'll have a look and see what we've got in the kiln. Okay, so this is going to be short but sweet. As I say, there's 5 items in the kiln. In fact, they are all items that have oxide on them. So I fired them separately because I didn't want the oxide to blow round inside the kiln and get onto the glazed work. Sometimes if I have a lot of work that has oxide on it, I will do that because oxide is obviously only ever in suspension and therefore it has like a dusty surface. Sometimes if there's a lot of oxide on pieces, it can blow around the kiln, and if it goes on to glazed work, then obviously it will turn it green. So I didn't want to spoil any of the work that's waiting to be glazed by putting in oxided work on mixed shelves. So what's in this kiln is 4 sculptural poppy heads made by different people, and a piece that Jill has made, which she very heavily oxided with copper oxide because she wanted it to turn black. So I've had just the sneakiest of sneakies, as you know, just a tiny one, but it won't take long to just get this open, and then the follow-on video from this next week will be me dremeling the bottoms. So I'm just going to do a really quick one before we go away in the caravan. My husband's just packing it up at the moment and we're off to Winchester for a few days, but as I said, I just can't wait to get this kiln open. So let's get the lid up and see what we've got. So the kiln was cold yesterday evening, but I just didn't have time then to open it up and have a look. So I'm just going to show you before I move anything how I've packed this kiln. So as you can see, the kiln is basically full. If I had been packing it with glazed work, there would be more in it because I hate wasting space. But you'll see what I mean about the oxide. That is really black, that piece, and it wasn't black clay used. And then the other 4 heads are standing on 2 on a half shelf and 2 underneath. So let's have a look at them. First glance, all looks really lovely, but we'll get them out and have a closer look. Right, okay, so first out, let's do pennies, and I'm going to show you how they're standing as well. As I've said many times before, I use these sacrificial cookies, so as you can see, there's quite a lot of glass on there. So this is a seed head made by the lovely Penny. Hello Penny, I know you'll be watching. Beautiful seed head. There is a full 3-part tutorial on how to make these. So if you have a look on the channel, I'll pop it up on the end for you to find it. There's a playlist called Sculptural Poppy Heads, so I'll stick a card up and what have you. But there's a whole step-by-step tutorial on how to make these. So you can put your own spin on it. You don't have to make them exactly the same, but at least it gives you a starting point. And this clay is Craft Crank, which is widely available in the UK. I'm not sure what the American version is called, but basically it's a highly grogged clay that can be used outside. And these can go outside in the garden and be left out there all year. And this isn't glaze on the top, it's glass frit. So it's bullseye glass frit that we use in the studio. And obviously we are taking that glass past its temperature. So glass is usually melting point somewhere around 720 degrees. Well, this this glaze kiln went up to 1212, so 1212 degrees C. So we're obviously taking the glass well past its melting point. And what happens is that it finds the lowest point and then it will drip down the side. So I put them onto these sacrificial cookies so that part doesn't actually go on my kiln shelf. But then I have to knock these off with a hammer and Dremel the bottom. But I'm going to do that on the next video. So this has just been decorated with glass and copper oxide. So that's all that's on there. And Penny has used the pearl necklace sprig, which is, as I say, it's on the tutorial of how to make this. So take a look at that if you're interested. So that's beautiful, Penny, well done. The next one's actually mine, which I don't make them that often because I just never get round to it, but they sell so well, I really should make more. So this one is actually mine. Let's pick that up. And again, it's on a lovely sacrificial cookie, and you can see there's quite a lot of glass that's dropped down onto there, but not on the kiln shelf again. So this one is mine. Slightly different fins. I've pinched them out, so I've put a coil on and then pinched the coil out to give me a fin. A slightly different colour of glass on the top, a little bit more green than Penny's is. But again, the glass has found the lowest point to flow from on this top. So I still have a nice layer of glass on the top, and I have some flowing down the side. And again, I need to knock the cookie off and Dremel the base. But yeah, very happy with that. That's lovely. Not too much oxide. I didn't want it to go too dark, but I quite like it with a little bit, just to give it some definition. So yeah, really nice. Love that. That's nice. I'll get this half shelf out. Okay, so there are two more in here by new students, Sylvia and Sarah. So we'll do Sarah's first, I think. And again, it's on a sacrificial cookie. Yes, again, very similar. There's not very much oxide on here, but you can see the glass on the little tray at the bottom. Very nice. This is the first piece that Sarah's made with me here. So yes, I hope she's happy with that. Really lovely. Nice glass on the top. We do have some dripping, a little bit of dripping, which is lovely. So yeah, very nice. I hope she'll be happy with that. They look lovely out in the garden. Very nice, but not very much oxide. That is a personal choice, whether you want to put the oxide on and make it darker or not. But there is some difference in the surface with a little bit of copper oxide on there. So yes, very nice. Well done, Sarah. That's lovely. And then the last one of those is Sylvia's. So I'll lift that one out. Okay, so this is Sylvia's. This one is beautiful. Again, on its sacrificial tray. And again, there is a reasonable amount of glass on that tray. Hope you can pick that up. But actually, this one has done really well on the dripping. So she's had dripping here and indeed round on this side. But there's still a nice covering of glass on the top. Now, Sylvia has highly texturized her seed head, which I love. She's used different tools to make different marks. And of course, the oxide has found its way into those marks. Isn't that lovely? I think that's really gorgeous. She's done a really, really good job on there. So well done, Sylvia. That really is beautiful. And I love the head on it. She's done a slightly sort of more natural stylized head on it with the petals turned up. So yeah, really pretty. Isn't that pretty? Gorgeous, gorgeous. And again, as I say, I'll have to get the cookie off the bottom and we'll Dremel that on the next video. So right. A beautiful quartet of sculptural poppy heads. They're really lovely. They look great all together, don't they? So it's really nice if you make one that you make 2 or 3 to go with it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Right, there's one more thing in the kiln, so I'll lift that out. Right, so this is a large planter made by Jill. And as I say, she's almost turned the craft crank clay black by adding lots of copper oxide. So this is going into a metal frame, so it is going to obviously be this way up. But when I fired it in the kiln, it was fired upside down, okay? So I've had to fire it that way because obviously it can't stand up on a point, and the point is glazed. The glaze used on there, just for reference, is Amico's Textured Turquoise, and again inside. Really nice, isn't that lovely? There's a couple of marks on here. You'll just be able to see the little bits of white clay. They've come from the cookies that I have stood it on because I didn't want it standing on the kiln shelf. So I will just need to remove those. Might need to do a little bit of dremeling, but if I do, it's not major. But I've just stood it on the cookies just so that it's not marking my kiln shelf with oxide. In fact, I'll show you one of the cookies. So it's been stood on the rim on the cookie, and obviously the copper oxide has gone on the cookie. I don't really want that on my kiln shelf. So, I mean, it'll burn off, but better that it's on a cookie that I can throw away than on my kiln shelf that's very much more expensive. So, yeah, that is a lovely piece, Jill. So, as I say, that's built from slabs and then has been texturised right the way over the surface and then copper oxided over the top of that with just glazed sections on the point and inside. So yeah, really nice. So I'll try and get Jill to send me a photo of that once it's actually in its metal frame sitting where she's going to have it. But as I say, another little dremeling job for me, which we'll do on the next video. Right, okay, so short and sweet, very short and sweet this week. So great to see you all. I'm going to pop off in my caravan up to Winchester. If you see me out and about, give me a wave. I've had a couple of funny instances where people are looking at me funny, and I just think, why are they looking at me funny? And then Steve will say it's probably because they've seen you on your videos. So if you do see me out and about, feel free to come up and say hi. I'm very happy. It's just what I had one chap who was sitting in a cafe and he kept looking at me, and I thought that's a bit odd. And as I say, and Steve said, well, it's because he probably watches the channel. So if you happen to have been having fish and chips in the Boulevard in East Wittering a couple of weeks ago and that's you, drop me a comment, let me know it was you. Anyway, always lovely to have you here, and what a lovely load has come out of the kiln this week. Next week we'll be doing the dremeling. See you then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.